Hello, adventurers. My name is Max, and I'll be your Dungeon Master for the evening. I'd like to welcome you all to the 44th episode of Campaign 2 of Cashes and Cantrips. For some of your favorite streamers, favorite streamers, play Dungeons and Dragons live on Friday nights. I'm joined by our illustrious crew of Bunny Dreadful, Mac and Cheese Please, Nina Nikolic, Virtual Spectre, and Moves Like Jagger from the GG and crew.
Mac and Cheese Please is my favorite.
Is your favorite?
My favorite.
You're only saying that because you want me to get you out of some shiz, okay?
Yes.
You're not wrong.
See what happens.
Doesn't mean it's not true.
See what happens
I mean,
when
keep
Taj
buttering
is
me
here.
up. Flattery works on me. No.
You look really pretty today. Did anybody tell you that your hair is just like really nice?
Wow, thanks.
I even did the side part to be more like you.
Whoa.
So,
Y'all,
with that
I
being
can't.
said, for those of you watching over on Twitch and or YouTube, thank you very much. And if you like what you see, give us a follow on Twitch or subscribe over on YouTube. We would very much appreciate it. And some other important things. We also have a podcast that you can listen to. You can get early access to that podcast on our Patreon. There are all sorts of fun things that we have in store for you all, including our podcast versions of Tome of Knowledge, our Out of Combat, which is only podcast and YouTube, so it's not live at all. It's where we tell all the secrets behind the scenes of the campaign, where we all spill the tea.
We spilling tea out here.
I hear all the stuff y'all say about me too. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not supposed to watch that.
I would never.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the thumbnail for tonight's episode for a second?
Hey,
You're
listen,
also
that was my
watching
best
on the
work,
other-
okay?
If you're just watching on the purple platform and not on the other platform, do yourself a favor and go over there, say hi, and check a little something out. Because oh my goodness,
Hey,
What?
I am an actor.
perfection!
All right.
So behind the scenes, I'm like, okay, whose face hasn't appeared there in a while? Because I try to evenly distribute everybody, and I was like, well, Nina hasn't been on there in a while, and I'm like, this episode's kind of a big deal, and some shit happened, and I was looking through my options, and it was like Nina, and I was like, well, those don't really fit, and I was like, this one.
Yes.
I feel like an episode titled "Dead in the Water" doesn't need a big smiling Nina.
It was a pretty accurate representation of how I've been feeling since the last episode, which has been far too long, of no one's fault. But I'm just the whole time I've been existing, just like
Panic, despair, anguish. Those all fit,
Yeah.
right?
holding it all for today.
Yeah, so I'm glad you all are here. We're holding it together. Also, if you are interested in the new version of D&D changes that are coming out, check us out on Mondays at the same time, where we talk about all the new changes that are coming through with me and Moobs and VS. We do Tome of Knowledge. Or if you just want to chat with us and talk to us about what's going on in your D&D lives or otherwise, go join our Discord. Discord.gg/casters and cantrips. The links are where you think they are. That worked, right?
They're where they're supposed to be.
They're where
Yeah.
they're supposed to be. They're in their home. But with that being said, I think it's been too long since our last episode. So unless any of y'all have any words of wisdom for the crew before you enter this pivotal episode, I think we can get started.
I think I'm just going to hit us with the R no.
Oh no.
My word of wisdom is keep a backup character in mind.
Yeah, I
just
was
in
gonna
case.
say.
Wow,
Raven's
guys,
pretty-
I was gone for 1 week. Okay. Like, why are we in this situation? Whose fault is it?
We all pointed Azure.
Society.
Yeah, literally.
The injustices in society.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But
Actually,
like
us all
also
pointing at
completely
Azure
along
and
for the
him
ride.
responding the injustices in society is very on point.
Listen, the pirate wizard please showed up, and I reacted, and that's what happened.
Yeah, true that. Without any further ado, I think we can go ahead and get started for tonight's episode of Casters and Cantrips. So, our story last left off with the crew of the Unfortunate setting sail back to their home port of Blackrend Cove, the secret pirate island. During this journey, Kurzak, their bosun, brought to Hayden's attention that since they left in a bit of a hurry from their previous destination, that supplies would be tight during the journey as they had not been refilled. Unfortunately, Gear and Barry were left in charge of getting supplies for the journey, and they failed to do so. Though through Hayden's sailing experience, he knew that if it came to it, there were several smaller uninhabited islands in the area that they could be used to forage for food. After Azric was made aware of this news, he instituted rationing of supplies after the 4th day of travel and suggested raiding a merchant vessel for supplies. As fate would have it, a ship within the Unfortunate sphere of influence during the trip that came within that, and the party decided this would be a good opportunity to commandeer some supplies from the vessel. As the ship approached the Unfortunate, they unfurled their flag to reveal the maroon and gold insignia of the Divine Order of Conservancy. They ordered the Unfortunate to stop and prepare to be boarded for a routine patrol. The decision was made that the Unfortunate would not submit to the Conservancy, and instead, they would open fire on the vessel. After a brutal ship-to-ship battle, both vessels were rendered completely dead in the water, losing all of their sailing capabilities. The party had boarded the rival ship, the Vigilant, in an attempt to turn the tides, where ultimately a ceasefire was called by both sides to avoid a mutual destruction of both ships and crew. And as both ships are running adrift to the currents during this uneasy truce, that is where we'll begin our episode this evening. I saw your message moves, by the way, in my mind. If I'm reading my intro, things get twisted, and I understand what you're saying now, by the way. So, message received.
Excellent.
I read that as there's a typo in it. I was like, a typo in what? Anyway. So, to set the scene, you are all on the deck of the Vigilance. There are crew of the Conservancy around you. Captain Larissa Vale has a knife to her back thanks to Hayden. You can see that the little magma friends that Emmy had brought.
They're magmen.
The magmen. Don Draper and friends are on the deck, waiting to explode the powder keg on this ship. And then you can see just in a short distance, the Unfortunate, all of its guns disabled on, I believe it's the port side, the sails tattered, the wheel obliterated, and just drifting as the makeshift white flag being waved using the chef hat of your little cook, goblin cook on the ship. Chowder. So a ceasefire has been called, and there is a bit of tension on the deck. And at this point, you were all on the ship, because I know, Cooter, you were kind of dumped in the water, but we'll say that everyone's on the boat at this point.
Yeah, I was wondering if I even had the opportunity to bring my bucket, because I need it. So I think at this point, Cooter's just like bent over the side of the vessel, purging every piece of acid possible in a nervous flurry.
As one does.
All right. And you see that Captain Vale has her sort of hands up, and she looks over her shoulder to see Hayden there, and looks back over to you, Azric. Well, as I had called this ceasefire, I do suppose that there is a parley in order, as unless we would all like to choose mutual destruction,
Yes, a parley is in order. I think both parties want to stay alive.
Well, as I can see that your ship is barely afloat, I think it would be appropriate to have this parley here.
Agreed. Unless you want to slowly sink into the ocean while we discuss terms.
I think that, well, perhaps you should signal to the rest of your officers on your crew, and we can begin this conversation.
Very well. Shall be done.
I will have my gun crew stand down so there is no fear of retaliation as long as you all behave.
All right, we will be on our best behavior.
I sure hope so, because my crews would love nothing more to lose just a few more cannons while sinking your ship. I think it'd be well worth it, considering.
If you want your stock of gunpowder to go up in flame along with half your ship, then sure. But I think it's best if we all play it cool.
That's the thing about the divine order of conservancy, in that there's always more of us.
And we're like cockroaches. You squash one and the three more come out.
Well, I shall have the quarters prepared. We can begin our negotiation.
Very good.
And she turns to look at Hayden, and if you would kindly remove the knife from my back.
Sure. But I would prefer it if your hands stay where I can see them.
And I would prefer it if you were going to make a move on me, then you'd do it to my face.
Well, here I am.
Now, there'll be plenty of time for flirting later.
Oddly. Where'd you pick this one up, Captain? Some gutter somewhere?
You'd be surprised. I'm sorry, Captain, I didn't catch your name.
Captain Larissa Vale of the Vigilant.
Very good.
Well, let's get your crew aboard.
And yeah, I'll flag the crew over.
She just one of our officers, right?
Yeah.
We're all already here. Except for one.
You are currently missing Herzak
Yeah.
and Whisper. Everyone else is not officer level.
Probably going to take them a little while to row over.
So I'll
Anyone
say
have a
Kurzak.
spare boat?
I'll say Karzak, and then we can introduce Taj this way. So she can come over with all the rest. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's all I had to say. Just might take them a little while to swim over.
If I remember correctly, and when I say remember, I'm just going to measure it because I still have the map. Y'all are like, what, 200-ish feet away? So it won't be that long. Probably an uncomfortable amount of time since you're just hanging out on your enemy's boat. But yeah.
I think while we're waiting for the rest of the crew to row over, Hayden. Sorry, what's her name again?
Captain Larissa Vale.
Larissa. I think he's gonna kind of like study her posture and try to figure out what she might intend to, like what terms she might intend to use against us based on like what type of character he's observing while she's waiting.
Give me an insight roll. I love that. Love it.
What is that? 11.
An 11.
Yeah.
You can see that despite this sort of very brutal combat at sea where many of her crew was lost, her ship is while doing better than yours, is not in exactly great shape. It can't sail anywhere at this point. She seems very by the book, very rigid, standing up straight, keeping up appearances of being a captain of the Conservancy. Seems that she is keeping up appearances for the rest of the crew, maybe. Like,
Okay.
you know, it's trying to think of a good analogy for this, but I keep thinking back of the Community episode where they open the door and everything's on fire.
She's keeping an air of calm and authority.
Yeah, if you open the door and everything's on fire, but she's standing around like, this is fine. Like,
Okay. So she's got confidence.
yeah, poise, lots of poise.
I'm gonna have the Magman just like, I don't know, do some like jumping jacks and somersaults to keep them busy, but they're not going away.
How long do they last?
That's a good question. I'll find out.
You guys know those gifs that people make where it's like a little character that's kind of like dancing and they start like break dancing?
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
I just pictured them in front of the barrels, just like kind of doing little dance.
Yeah.
Like those little holiday like videos where people put like people. Have you seen what I'm talking about, or are you thinking of something else?
I'm thinking of something else. It's a meme format now where it's like a little character that's like dancing and they start like doing a handstand spin.
Yeah, it's that. 1 hour. So,
Okay, cool.
but
Excellent.
if we get close to the hour being up, can I just use a spell slot to like keep them?
I mean, it's up to you if you want to just keep things up.
They're staying. They're not going.
I had a picture in my mind of those little weird like holiday greetings you can give people that will like, it's like a bunch of like dancing like Santa's elves with music, and then it like just puts someone like your family member's face on their face, and it's like really poorly done. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Funny. They look like they just look like little fire gnome boys, and they're just doing their little like dance, and every now and then they do a little somersault in the handstand, and they're just kind of chilling. Having a good time.
Okay, cool. So it takes a short amount of time for them to row over. Taj, as you're looking at this ship, it's pretty similar to yours. It seems like an upgraded model, perhaps. Maybe they got the newer model, and it's looking in bad shape. Not as bad as your ship, but you just have this feeling that, man, y'all are in some deep doo-doo coming into this.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that vibe. So to lay it all out, just so I understand the situation, we were all like boom, 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 and then we stopped fighting because we realized we're both gonna like sink each other's ships, and now we're gonna parlay. But what does parlay mean again? That's a word I don't know.
Negotiations.
Yeah, basically a negotiation where there's a ceasefire, like nothing's gonna happen at this point. And it was like boom, 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 and then some of the officers went, "We're going over," to try and, even the score because y'all were losing a bit. So
Got it.
They have more firepower and a better ship than us. So
Okay.
on your row over there, with Kurzak and Whisper, Kurzak, it looks really nervous. He's sort of like wringing his hands together. Whisper just looks stoic. Gosh, Whisper, there are rumblings among the crew I don't necessarily want to bring this up during the parley, but I think that there may have to be a discussion about our ship and its continuing leadership going forward.
What do you mean?
Some of the crew are less than pleased with the situation and are blaming the captain for it. It's early, but I am not sure if this is going to come to a vote or not.
I do not understand. You guys are mad at us because we do not do pirate things, and then when we do pirate things, you are not happy. So it's like we cannot win. No.
I'm just relaying what I've heard. I'm not saying that I share these feelings. I'm just saying that a pirate crew is held together by a democracy, as absurd as that sounds. Everyone has a vote.
No, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is you guys were upset that we were not doing pirate things. And now here we are doing pirate things, and now you're upset. So there is no winning, no? How do you suggest we go about this? What are people saying? What do they want to do? What does pirate things mean to them?
I understand.
You want us to make money? I do not know what you want us to do.
Well, and he's kind of like locked up a little bit, like trying to talk to you. He's just like, I'm just telling you what's going on. I'm trying to do my job, and he feels kind of like he's like, I can't say anything right in this situation. Whisper's kind of got her arms crossed. I mean, to be honest, anyone could do a better fucking job than him. To be honest, I think he could do a better job than him. Taj.
I do not think you are wrong. But he is our leader, so it is what it is right now. But I'm just saying, I want to do what you guys want to do, and if you do not tell me what you want to do, then how can I help?
I think
what Kurzak you want to do, this is not good enough, no?
What I think Kurzak is trying to say is that some feel that the captain's rushed into judgment of the situation and put us in quite a bad spot. And we
attacked without all the information.
I would say that attacking a conservancy ship head on, well, admirable in some ways.
Did we know that it was this before we attacked? No?
Well, originally it was believed it may be a merchant ship, but it was revealed that it was not. So we are in quite a spot. But to go further than what Kurzak is trying to say is, I think after this parley is over, I think the captain may need to convince the crew of his remaining in charge. But that is a future problem, I would say.
It is future's problem, but it is not Quantumy's problem. Quantumy's problem is on a stinking boat.
That's true.
On our way to Palais.
I would assume that if it comes to such, that some of the crew may put names forward of who else could better run the ship in their eyes.
You think that it would come to me? Or would it come to you?
I would say that if you were to be nominated, that I would back you. And I would ensure that my mates from Blackbeak's crew would also back you. know that some speak highly of Hayden, and I know some are loyal to Azric. So, like you had mentioned, this is not a current problem, but just telling you where I stand.
Maybe we have a meeting. If you have a couple trusted people, I just do not see how we can move forward if people were mad that we were not doing pirate things, and then the moment we do pirate things, they are mad. I don't know how we could have made this with better information, no?
I think, personally, this is more of a totality of circumstances because I've made it no secret that I personally think that the captain is a little bit in over his head. And I think that this is sort of the pressure building enough for it to boil over.
Do you think there will be a mutiny?
I don't think that there would be violence at this stage. That's what I think of mutiny anyway. But it is well within their right to call to vote of no confidence. Now, I will say for the most part you all have been fair to me, so if you all have a plan after this is over, I'd be more than willing to hear it. But it may be difficult to convince them of staying the current course, but it's not impossible.
Well, we can have a conversation. I think one is we first have one with all of us, and then we relay to the crew. A shorter version.
Well, and if you want to, if it comes to it, talk about strategy, I'll make sure you have people to listen.
And I don't know, would it help morale if maybe we had an open table of sorts? People can speak their mind.
Like an airing of grievances?
We will take it into suggestion, consideration, but we do not know what we do not know. And if we do not know that they are upset, then how can we fix it? No?
I could see that going one of two ways. One way being the crew feels more open that the grievances are being heard and that they're taken into consideration. The other, I could see the crew thinking that the guard captain being weak and not having a sort of, direction of how to deal with these things. This is all conjecture at this moment, but I think that's what you were going to say, right, Kurzak? And his eyes are just like big old saucers. He's just like looking straight ahead and just like, it's just like, like he's locked up basically, not knowing what to do here. Well, it seems we need to get over our first obstacle first. And about that time, your boat sort of comes up against theirs, and there's a sort of a nice rope ladder coming down for you to board the Vigilant to rendezvous with the crew.
I go up the ladder.
Yeah. All right, so everyone is aboard. In the meantime, some of the crew of the Vigilant have sort of set up a large table, like a meeting area in the captain's quarters. And they're sort of ushering all into the captain's quarters, and then all of the officers of your crew are now together if you wish to have a word before you go in to start negotiations.
All right, crew. We're about to enter negotiations with the captain of the Vigilant.
As captain,
Emmy.
can I stay out here and watch the magmen?
Sure.
I always say the wrong thing, and I'm a little worried the magmen might try to set something on fire if I'm not watching them. So I just thought that seemed like a win-win. Yeah.
The officers need to be present during a party.
Oh, well, I'll just vote for whatever you say.
And it's just a discussion between myself and the other captain. No one has to speak any at all.
Okay, but what about the magmen?
Well, if they try anything, then blow it up.
Okay, let me tell them the orders. And you just watch as Emmy runs over and like leans down and starts whispering to the magmen.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, doesn't that mean that we'll blow up with them? Do we
Too late
really
now.
want to go through with this threat?
Obviously.
Oh, no.
We'll jump off and we have a signal. But
So,
the goal of this parlay is to both parties to walk away alive and none of us see jail time.
Okay.
And then,
Right.
yes, Hayden.
All right.
even if we do end this parlay on friendlier terms where we can walk away with our lives, how do we actually get somewhere alive with a ship that doesn't function?
Well, we would have to do repairs as we drift through the ocean current until it's good enough for us to probably take the dinghies to shore and pay for a tow.
How far out are we from like any kind of land? Is there any land at all visible on the horizon?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me pull up the map.
I wasn't sure if we were like cruising just off of a coastline somewhere, or if we were out.
That's where you are. You are about equidistant from the atoll, from Oshamaran, probably a little closer to the Crescent Isles if you had to take the ship and run it for repairs.
I have a theoretical question.
Abby, how close are your family to you?
Actually, yeah, I have two questions. One, how close is my family? Two, theoretically, if I asked a whale really nicely to tow us, could a whale tow us? That first part about me asking them nicely and getting them to help, that I can do. That's easy. Just could a whale tow us?
That's an excellent question. I guess it depends on what kind of whale and how the whale would be towing your ship.
Ropes?
If you want to try it later on, we can try it.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. No more questions at this time.
No
Your
further
Honor.
questions.
Well, we'll be drifting for quite a while then, at least.
All right. Does anyone have any questions or comments or suggestions before we move forward?
Is it just us privately, or can they hear?
You're in huddle before you go into the room.
What is it that we are trying to parlay? If we are making a deal, why don't we just let them go their way and we go our way, no?
I mean, that is the plan. However, they still have active cannons. We do not.
Well, if we need to, I have fireball, and the cannons are flammable, and ours are not, no?
Oh, we don't have any.
Have we...
That's what I'm saying.
This is player talking. Have we... We didn't have any kind of flag up. We had a Lenara flag, right? Or
Yes, yeah.
so... And I don't think anybody on our crew has said that we are pirates.
But y'all did cast magic at him in the fight.
Well, they...
This is one of
Have
the people that
magic
don't
too.
like magic.
Sorry, they do have magic too. Their magic, if you were to look at what spells they use, were all divine magic. But what were you saying, Mac?
They don't like magic. Like, these are the people that are like magic.
These are
Hunter
Those people that
people.
hunt magic users.
Yep.
Got it. That makes it more difficult.
Wow. so they'll just assume we're pirates based off it.
Or illegal casters. Both.
Right.
Same difference to them, I'm guessing.
How many of the crew is left?
Of ours?
Of this?
No.
Maybe
Enough.
half?
Yeah, about half or so. Probably.
They had more than us.
So we're fucked.
I think
We
that.
killed half their crew and we're illegally using magic.
But,
It feels
but
that
we
way.
have magmen
And we
about to
also
blow up
opened-
all of their gunpowder. So they can't do anything right now.
Okay.
We were very much the aggressors, so
Y'all got into some shit when I was gone.
Again, we all point at Azric.
I think
It was
that
fun.
this is sort of unprecedented as far as I'm known about the Conservancy. I am unconvinced that we can let bygones be bygones and go separate ways. They're probably going to want something from us before they let us go.
We have information of a war.
maybe. Which was the angle I was
Isn't
thinking
it the
of.
war they're starting?
Isn't it different people?
Oh, okay, never mind. Just kidding.
Anyway, the angle I was thinking we could come from would be that we were paid envoys from Linares to deliver some sort of message elsewhere. And
We're on a secret mission.
we were fearing that our Conservancy friends may be pirates, so we were proactive.
That's a
Wait,
brilliant
wait.
idea, Hayden.
But whether they believe it or not is up to chance. They saw the use of magic, and I think for these folks, their only interpretation of that is, well, that we're not above board. So I don't think they would trust us to begin with.
Right, but my magic's not illegal, and Taj could pretend to be someone that's undercover and hiding with pirates.
But I am already on board, no?
No, but you could change to look like, well, you know, that one lady, the mean lady that's in charge of them.
Well,
Like right in front of them?
Blackbeak?
Yeah, just tell them it's a special. No, not Black Peak.
well,
Remember, like the really mean lady in the first episode?
are you talking about the one that arrested all of us?
I have short-term memory issues. I have
She
no idea.
arrested you, and you got a really good look at her, and you know her voice and everything.
Like, what if you're a top secret agent from the Conservancy? You know, I'm
Like
on
Eden is.
board.
What?
Right,
Yeah.
Hayden is.
It's precisely.
You're not serious.
Do you think you can pull this off?
They wanted you released for some reason, so you, the two of you, need to pretend like you're top secret, and Azric's this stupid. No offense, Azric. You're this stupid pirate captain that you tricked into helping you. But he didn't understand, and that's why he attacked.
I think Ezra can be stupid, no? And I
Oh
like
my
put my
gosh,
hand
I
on
didn't
his
mean it like
cheek
that.
and like pinch it a little bit, like, oh.
I mean, his whole face is red, and she's like giggling, like.
Love, just because you do that doesn't make it cute.
I would.
You were.
I don't know if it's a
stripping
great
out
idea
corrupt-
to outright say that Azric is a pirate captain. Even if I were to pretend I was infiltrating him, then what's to stop them from just turning around and arresting Azric and the rest of you?
We only flown Linares colors. We are privateers hired by Master Hayden.
hired. And you have a secret message to give out? We are guiding you on your way.
And we do have a backstory. They can go to the atoll, talk to the guards.
Yeah, exactly.
They have authority that Hayden is working for the Conservancy. So we have a cover.
Yes, precisely.
It does not matter, no one knows.
DM question. We
Yes.
saw the types of magic they're using. Do we know what classes they are?
I mean, you could ascertain that they're using some sort of like divine magic, so use your imagination there. The reason why I say that is typically for like NPCs and monsters, I don't make them like a full character. It's way too much.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to figure out if we could tell if they'd have the ability to use the spell where they could talk to someone like long distance.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Can I do an Arcana check too?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. Can I perceive any whispers?
What's your Arcana check, Tosh?
I'm doing simple math. 15.
So yeah, both Taj and Emmy, you all would know that yeah, there's a lot of different sort of people that can do the spell where you can talk to people far away. You know that like bards and clerics and wizards and you know some other specific classes. And there's also magic items that allow you to do this as well.
Oh, so they might actually be able to double check with Atoll, with the Gilded Atoll.
I don't
Is that
think
a
it's an
problem?
awful plan.
Then what do
Really?
you
You
propose?
liked my plan? Wow, that's a first.
Well, only for the reason that we've had our business in the atoll.
And they can corroborate?
But now the
And Azric's really good at pretending to be dumb. That's what you said.
But now this is all going to ride on me, isn't it?
Yes.
How's your deception, son?
Well, the best thing about deception is actually speaking in half-truth. Quite easy, because we do have factual truth that can collaborate with our story.
Speak for yourself. My half-truths are always three-quarters truths, apparently.
That is why you're not.
That's why I don't
talking.
do the talking. That's right. I'm going to stay back and watch every one of them with my dirty 20 in
I have the
perception.
utmost confidence in you, Hayden.
The only hang-up might be is asking why we would not cease fire sooner after it was revealed they were a Conservancy ship.
Because Azric's an idiot. We already went over this part of the plan.
No. That's not going to be.
wait.
Everyone thinks I'm an idiot. That's
What about if somebody, is there rumors of people stealing flags from other people and potentially ringing them incorrectly?
There's somebody. Yeah, like their
And we
organization.
thought that they were
lied too.
impersonating, that it was wrong.
I think that could work.
We can say that it happened to us earlier.
right. Pirates are posing as the Conservancy, and your task was to hunt them down.
Aye.
And their ship fit the description of said pirate ship.
Oh, that could be your secret task that you're on,
Oh.
no?
I have the torn flag of the. Isn't it a Conservancy flag that I have? A torn one?
Yeah, it's a torn flag that was just enough because your high roll was like, this could be it, but on its own merit, you're like, maybe.
But we could say that we found it on another ship that tried to attack us because they were using, like they had stolen it or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give that to Hayden. Hayden, you have that now.
Or is that evidence that links that crime to us? No? That ship is missing?
I don't think so. I don't think there's enough of it left to link it to a specific ship.
No.
No.
Unless they wrote your ship's name on your flag, but
So this
It's like you sew the name into the underpants for little kids. It's like, this ship belongs to.
this could very well work in our favor. But being without a ship currently, and if I'm to play the part of a Conservancy member, what's to stop them from asking me to confirm or to leave with them to some Conservancy headquarters to confirm this now that we are without a ship?
That's fine. We'll just invisibly follow you, right? Right?
Or you have
Yeah, we could do that.
a cloak that can you just swim away.
That's true. You could sneak away. I could follow you as a seagull. I mean, another bird that you're not scared of. And then I could keep an eye on you. And then we could swim away as soon as you have a moment to escape. Or you jump off the boat and then we blow it up.
Let's take things one step at a time. We can
Okay.
try. I will try
You
to
can't
play the
step on
part.
water, so
Well, I will try to play the part as best as I can. But, these people are no fools. They deal with scum like us for a living. So it's going to be a tough sell. I just want us to be prepared for that.
Right. This is going to work.
Okay?
it has to work. And Haj is better at lying than you, though. Is there something she can do to, like, help?
Am I better? I do not know.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, you just always seem like
Maybe
you
if you
are.
looked at our DMs.
Oh, is that something?
But we can assist
Oh.
either way.
Anyways, while they're reading that chat, Cooter, what do you think of all this? It was a good plan, right?
Oh, I'm entirely on board. I think it sounds like
Okay.
perfection.
As long as you don't have to lie, right? As long as you and I don't have to lie.
Oh, keep me out of it. My
Yeah, same.
charisma and deceptive abilities had me joining you in the first place, and here I am. But I can stand out the back and watch.
So
Okay, me
I'm an
too.
excellent
So-
lookout.
to sort of summarize, our plan is for Hayden to tell this person, no, wait, I'm one of you. You should let us go.
Right.
After the whole fucking debacle we had on the Gilded Atoll.
Right, yeah.
Well, it's using the whole debacle we had on the atoll to our advantage, isn't it?
Everyone's okay with this.
Well, the thing is, he has to say that the rest of the crew doesn't know that he's. You know what I mean? Like,
And what will that say if he's somehow able to convince this person?
he's on a secret mission and he's working high up in the conservancy.
She means if word got back to our ship.
Oh,
I must
I
be
like
dead
you.
then.
So,
They know that we do whatever it takes to get out of situation.
No, we don't play by
She's
the
not.
rules.
She's not wrong.
But would
just
they
even
don't
believe
let
it?
them.
Do they need to believe it?
Also, the fact that not too long ago we just had a very interesting conversation about this whole ordeal in the first place.
Aye.
About how
All
the
for you?
Conservancy was involved with all of these things allegedly on the atoll, and how we miraculously were sprang from imprisonment. But I digress. No one listens to Whisper.
Well, Whisper, we talked about the fact that Hayden might be a spy, and we talked about it, and we all agreed he probably wasn't. I mean, I feel like you were there.
I was.
So you do think Hayden works for the Conservancy?
I just don't think that I
Oh,
trust
jeez.
him much further than I can throw him.
I thought you
Just
liked
made that
him.
quite clear.
Yeah, well, what does he
things
have to do
are-
to prove himself?
All right,
We had a nice
everyone,
chat about it, and we decided
things are getting out of
mutual. Just
We have another problem we need to figure out first. All right. Now, if we all agree on this plan, and whisper if you have any other better ideas, then we're all ears. But as it seems to be now, this is the best plan we have.
Well, I think unfortunately we're sort of put in a bit of a corner here, Captain. So, I think that I agree that whatever it takes to get out of this.
Very good. And we will deal with the repercussions afterwards, one step at a time.
To be honest, Captain, I think it's a fantastic, miraculous plan. Excellent work.
Thank you, Kazak.
I fully support you.
All right. And if it all goes to
100%.
shit, then we jump off, blow up the ship, and figure it out. Use their blown up bits to repair the ship.
if this works, to Whisper's point, how we will let go and escape with our lives does not reach the crew. Make anything up. Don't tell them this was the plan. We don't need any more. We don't want them to think one of their officers is involved with the Conservatives.
Right.
I don't want to be killed in my sleep,
We
basically.
would just tell the crew that they were so afraid of our presence, our aura, that they let us go. And they begged us to let them leave. How about that?
Or we blow up the whole ship and leave? No? Maybe if we think that it is going south, we
Amen.
have a safe word of some sort, and we can use whole minions, and I can have fireball prepped and ready.
I like that. You fireball the crew, and I'll have the magma destroy the cannons and the gunpowder. Wait, I do the gunpowder, you do the cannons, I mean, because I don't think they're next to each other.
All right, the passcode.
Does fireball melt steel cannon?
I know it lights things that are flammable.
You picked it up, yes.
No, of course it doesn't. It's all a conspiracy.
My God, guys, I can't with you.
All right, the phrase, if all goes to shit and we blow things up, is we just point to the sky and say, "Oh, that cloud looks like a dog," and that's the cue.
Wait,
But
we
if
just
we
look for a
cannot
cloud
see
that
it?
looks like a dog?
No, you just point and say it. If it's not there or not, the cloud is
inside.
imaginary.
You do it from
Okay.
inside the captain's quarters.
This idea is too abstract for how you know this.
How are you going to do that from inside the
Different?
captain's quarters?
Doesn't matter at that point.
I don't know why, but we're having way too much fun in a dire situation.
Shall we get this over with?
So are we agreeing that that is our safe word?
Yes,
Can you repeat it back to me?
that cloud looks like a dog. That one.
That cloud looks like a dog.
I thought it was, that cloud looks like a dog.
Oh, that
Oh.
cloud looks like a dog.
That cloud looks like a dog. Frog or dog?
Dog.
Dog.
Yeah.
Dog.
Dog.
Okay. Are you sure?
Canine.
I feel like clouds look more like frogs.
Just to make certain, before we do this, you all want me to reveal that I'm a Conservancy member and you're all a pirate crew.
No, you have hired us.
Yes.
Private
Probably
tier.
not.
Pirates?
Privateers.
Mm.
Just wanted to clarify. Fine.
After you, Commander.
Let's take a stroll into the captain's quarters, shall we? We all head in.
All right. You all head in, and you can see that her crew of officers are also there. She's seated at the table. There's sort of chairs for 3 on each side, and the rest of them are sort of behind. So you can see on her side of the table, there's Captain Vale. You see a dwarven gentleman. Looks sort of well weathered, sort of weather beaten face with a long braided beard that's streaked with gray, with these sort of hard blue eyes just kind of staring at you all come in. Very like stout and sturdy. And then on the other side is an elven woman. Has long silver hair, sort of long, almost like to the middle of her back. Has sort of these sky blue eyes, and they all are wearing sort of official uniforms with rank insignia, epaulettes, maroon, sort of looks like professional sailor crew type situation. So which 3 of you are going to take a seat at the table, and who's going to be in the back?
I think me and Cooter are
Just
back.
stands in the furthest corner back, just like watching.
Taj and I will sit with Hayden.
Okay.
Always
Who sits in front of the
watching.
captain?
Oh, Commander Hayden, of course.
Alrighty. And I think with that, it's an excellent time for us to take a break. When we come back, it seems that the negotiations will begin. So don't go anywhere. Just get some snacks, stretch your appendages, maybe get a beverage, and we will see you all here in just a little bit, or we'll continue our episode this evening. So we will be right back, and we will see you all in just a few minutes. Bye. And welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you've gotten some snacks and some beverages and stretched your appendages, and we've come back to episode 44 of Castles and Cantrips, where the crew are currently sitting down to parley with the ship of the Divine Order of Conservancy to essentially negotiate for their lives, I guess. The stakes have never been higher.
Negotiate for your life.
Pretty much.
With a lip sync battle to come, depending on the result.
Oh my god, I really wish we were resolving this with a lip sync battle. Then Azric would have it.
Yep.
Well, what I want to know is, what would your go-to song be for lip sync battle for your life?
Journey.
Just any of them in the catalog?
Don't stop believing.
All right. So Azric and Taj and Hayden sit at the table across from the officers of the Vigilant, with the rest of your crew sort of filing in and watching over. And you see Captain Vale say, "Well, I suppose that we should begin. I think that we can all agree that both parties involved want to remain alive and afloat."
Agreed.
What I want to know is why you opened fire on our vessel for a routine patrol. Unprovoked, mind you.
Hayden looks at Azric like, shall I?
Yes, Azric looks and nods at Hayden.
Well, to be completely honest, it's because our fine captain here is a fool.
Some of the officers behind her start snickering, like.
But allow me to elaborate on why he's a fool.
I can't wait for this. Please do continue.
The thing is, this vessel, or what's left of our vessel, was set out on a secretive mission of sorts. They are a crew of privateers hired by myself to perform a job.
And then excuses open fire upon the Conservancy vessel. How?
It doesn't. But allow me to proceed. I contracted this crew to partake in a secret mission, the details of which may or may not be above your station.
Excuse me? Above my station?
Hayden's just staring at her right now, and he says, I think I should formally introduce myself. My name is Hayden Highwind. And I look over at Azric and the rest of the crew real quick. And it's like, I guess I'm doing it. And then he looks back at her and says, and I am also a member of the Conservancy.
Her brow furrows, and the officers behind her, like, you hear someone like gasp and kind of hold their hand over their mouth. He looks a little dumbfounded at first, keeping her sort of veiled visage of confidence and poise is sort of just melted off of her as you see wheels turning in her brain, like she's not sure how to process this particular problem that's in front of her. And then she sort of snaps to and looks at you and then just says, everyone else out now. And her crew gets up from the chair and stands up and gets ready to leave the quarters.
Uh-oh. Does everyone else of our crew have to stay, or is she like saying everyone?
She says everyone else.
Oh shit.
I will use my subtle spell to cast clairvoyance in the room so that way I can hear.
Okay.
I use my active perception outside the door to also hear whispers.
And Sir Kurzak is like looking to like Azric, or like, are we?
Yes, come along, everyone. The commanders have need of privacy. And I'll usher everyone out.
I don't like this. Let me just like rub my d20 for good luck.
So everyone else is out. And she grabs one of her crew. and says to them, show them around the vessel, perhaps towards the, I don't know, the bow. And then he looks at, like, give him a tour, and then nods, and then walks out of the room. This was the dwarvish gentleman who was sitting at the table. And as all the crew sort of like hustles around outside, and he says, all right, everyone, to the bow. No loitering or meandering around the quarters. It seems they have business.
All right.
And they sort of just like corral you towards like the bow of the ship. And you could just see like people on the deck just trying to like do what they can to like not really repair things, but picking up like broken splinters of wood and like, you know, trying to clear things out from all the carnage.
Kuda, just because she's always like the A+ student on the field trip, she kind of like waddles over to the front to next to the dwarf, and she's like, "Oh, so how long have you been serving?
Were you asking
Been
this
on
too?
this ship long?" The guy, the dwarven guy who's like leading us to the taking us on the tour or whatever. She's like, "Oh, we're going on a field trip of the ship then. All right."
He looks, he's like, 20 years.
Oh, wow, that's quite some time. What'd you do before that?
That's what do you mean? There was no before that. I joined the Conservancy.
You're only 20 years old.
Did you start working when you were a wee babe?
Well, I mean, you know, the difference between, at my age, the difference between 20 and 30 is quite negligible.
Well, if you must know, I worked my way through the ranks of the Conservancy. Wasn't always on a ship. Was on protection details, guard duty.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you know, excuse my ignorance. I don't know how I got wrapped up in all this, but I'm glad to be here on some adventure in this part of my life. It beats retirement, that's for certain. So, anyway, the bow. Shall we? And she like walks off in one direction. She's like, this way. And he's like, no, it's that way. She's like, oh, yes, this way, the bow, yes.
Right, the aft is that way. This is the bow.
Well, I knew that. Obviously.
Alrighty. So you all get kind of shuffled.
Why are we going to the bow again? I think it's probably both in our best interest that our commanders are safe.
You're asking the dwarven gentleman, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Or to make sure there's no prying eyes and ears outside the doorway.
I want to incite him.
Mm-hmm.
Is any alternative motives or?
Gotcha.
11.
Makes sense. Seems like they got some high level classified information they're talking about. Since Hayden threw around pay grades and such.
All right. To the bow then.
Reminds me of one of my favorite scenes from the Mission Impossible movies. It's like, did you just throw a title at me, Mr. Musgrave? I don't care if your daddy plays golf with the president. Anyway.
It's funny because I don't actually know any of the Conservancy titles other than like Hunter. Yeah. I'm a super hunter, you see. That means I outrank you.
You do know that the lady that was mad at you in the very beginning of episode 1, her official title was Apostle.
Oh. Okay.
Alrighty.
I don't know what apostles do, but I'll figure it out.
Divine stuff.
Oh. Well,
They obviously conserve for the conservancy.
yes.
Don't say.
Yeah. Okay. So she closes the door behind her and then waits for a moment. What in the absolute fuck are you talking about?
Well, before we get into anything, can you be assured that this is a private conversation? I'd hate to have prying eyes and ears.
Normally, I'd be offended since this is my ship. But I do believe diligence is in order here. One moment, please. Loading.
So real quick, privateers hired. This is to the party. Privateers hired to hunt down pirates who have been stealing flags, stealing or masquerading as hunters.
Yeah, we have evidence of a torn up flag.
Right, from the ship that we sunk, right?
Mm-hmm. That Emmy has.
And if they need to confirm anything,
I gave it to Hayden.
speak with what's his name on the atoll?
The marshal of the Golden Masks.
Okay.
The angry man that keeps saying, "Why don't you call us?" And we're like, "Bitch, we did. It took you 15 seconds instead of 10.
The Angie man. Love it.
The angry man.
Captain Darius.
Darius. Okay.
Can
work with that.
She nods and she opens the door, and yells out, "Lieutenant Celine, you're needed. They are more than welcome to bring one of theirs, to be fair." So you see the elven woman, long silver hair, is approaching the quarters, and you've been invited to bring someone.
Oh, Tosh, go.
I have a question
Yes.
before I go. If I can hear, like, see, or if I can hear through clairvoyance, if I cast, what was it? Hold on, message.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that is like verbal, or is it like all in our heads?
I think with the spell message, you like whisper something. It's like one of the few spells that you don't have to do like magic words and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think you could easily use a message if you needed to.
Well, because my plan is to message shit in his head because it's 120 feet, so I can do that. And then, so like someone else should go, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was like I don't need to be there because I'm already going to be there.
Okay. And you've also heard this conversation, what they've said.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Then I will go.
And you following in with the Lieutenant Celine. She walks in, and just kind of salutes. "Captain, please ensure that this conversation is private, if you do not mind." And she sort of looks around, and then she sort of gets what she's saying and nods, and then starts to cast a spell. And let's see. Finishes casting this spell, and she sort of just start walking around the quarters. And she says, "Captain, I am detecting some sort of magical occurrence here, but I cannot locate it or determine its specific origin." I see. Well, I suppose this conversation is no longer private then, is it?
I mean, could it be a magic object that one of us possesses?
And then Lieutenant, whose sort of eyes are sort of like just glowing with like gold over, is sort of like addressing you but not looking at you, almost like she's seeing in a different light than you are. And she's like, "No, I do notice all of the magical items that are both on you and my captain and on this person here. Something else."
I will adjust my eyes as I have Eldritch Sight. My eyes begin to glow, and I will scan the room.
Eldritch Sight. Remind me what your Eldritch eyes see.
Detect magic at will, basically.
Yeah, so you're kind of seeing what she's seeing. You see all the bits and bobs that you have, and that Hayden has, and the captain has a couple things. And then just in the area, like in the corner of a room, it's weird because you don't necessarily know like the school of magic. You don't know like exactly what this thing is, but you're like, there's some magic right there, but I can't exactly pinpoint what's going on here.
All right.
I am certain that this is some sort of anomaly that is not naturally occurring or regularly occurring on the ship.
We'll have to agree.
Then I am assuming that we have prying eyes that would like to listen to this conversation, which gives me pause to have a conversation that is allegedly higher than anyone else's pay grade here.
So, how shall we proceed then?
Well, I can only assume that you all are going to be negotiating in bad faith at this point, unless this sort of thing is corrected.
I will have a discussion with my subordinates, as well as you should have a discussion with yours if anyone is prying eyes.
Very well. Well, go on then.
All right, then I'll leave.
And then she sort of leaves the door open and just starts scanning just out on the ship.
All right, I'll approach my crew. I'm like, all right, crew. They're on to us, so probably cut the connection. But it seems like Azric's not the stupid one now, is he? Gosh.
What?
They are aware.
Do we not know that they're not talking to their people now? If I drop it, then they'll think it is ours. We need to make sure that they're talking to their people.
I look for the silver hair woman. Is she talking to people on their crew?
He's scanning and sees you all whispering and calls over the dwarven male. She says, Lieutenant Commander. And he sort of looks over his shoulders. He's kind of keeping an eye on you and then sort of walks all the way across the ship since he was at the bow with you all and walked all the way across. And Todd, you can hear this because of your clairvoyance up. And she's like, if there are any members of our crew that are trying to assist in this sort of negotiation via magical means, do not. Am I clear on that? Yes, ma'am. Yes, Captain. Then I think you should spread the word to the crew that I don't need any assistance here. Fair enough. Right, I don't think... I didn't ask your opinion, Lieutenant Commander. And he just kind of nods and just turns and walks away and starts talking to the crew individually.
I wait until I want, is he addressing the crew, being like, hey, if you're helping, blah blah blah, stop.
Yeah, he's talking to specific crew members, and which you could easily clock that if there's something magical going on, he's probably talking to the crew members that can do magic.
Yeah, well, I guess the point is I'm gonna drop it, but I want to make sure that it's timed when he's talking to somebody.
Yeah, oh yeah. You could easily time that.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, because I don't want him to think it's us. I want it to think it's their people.
Gotcha. Yep. So you see him approach and is talking to a half-elven woman. And as he approaches and talks to her, you could easily drop that if you'd want.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it drops, then Lieutenant Celine goes, "It's lifted." She says, "Very well."
And would I know what spell she used?
Detect magic.
Does detect magic detect clairvoyance?
They knew that there was magic there, but clairvoyance has specific rules on if someone can see what it is. All they knew that there was some magic.
True sight.
Yeah,
okay.
No. True sight or see invisibility, but they just use to detect magic, and they know that there's magic here. I don't know what it is, basically.
Gotcha.
So they didn't know what school of magic it was from. They just knew that, hey, there's a thing here, and this conversation's tense. That's what kind of brought them to that. But no, they don't know school of magic, what spell it was, what you were doing exactly. So very vague. So this drops. She goes, good. If you would, I would have you in the area, and you may stay as well outside of the doorway. And she sort of gestures to Azric and to the lieutenant and closes the door. And
Wait, so they're not in there now? They're outside the doorway?
yeah. And at this point, it appears that Hayden's having a conversation that no one else can hear.
Dang it. Max.
So, the negotiation goes on. Is there anything that you all want to discuss amongst yourselves while I have Hayden roll some things in secret to do a negotiation in private?
Hayden actually is the traitor.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How long did this whole thing take?
Define whole thing.
Like for them to like talk and go back and then talk and then get the person to like undo it.
I mean, I'm gonna guess like probably like a 10-minute ordeal or so.
Okay, I throw it again because detect magic's 10 minutes. So
Gotcha. She is standing outside of the door to keep that up, by the way. So that's why she's left there.
Oh, she's gonna
What do you
keep
mean?
casting detect magic?
So the lady that she brought over to detect the magic stuff, she and Azric are both standing by the captain's quarters to keep it up, basically.
oh, so like they're both taking turns casting detect magic?
Not taking turns. She said Azric can stay to make it even, so someone from each crew is represented there. But the captain has left this person that detected the magic outside of the door to basically keep it going during the conversation.
I guess I'm confused at what you're saying. Like, so she is still currently detecting magic.
Probably going to keep casting it over and over.
Okay.
So if
got
you
it.
wait 10 minutes, you see her do her whatever it is.
Okay, because I
to
was
keep
gonna
it
say
up.
the range on this is a mile, so I was like, I don't have to
for
be
sure.
near the door to cast it.
For sure. I'm giving
Okay.
you that
How long-
information so
That's
so
crazy.
it doesn't become an issue, because if it's 10 minutes, then she's going to cast it again
Okay.
as many times
Yeah,
as she
yeah, yeah.
can.
Casting as a ritual, though.
At this stage, she's not.
Okay. If she starts doing it as a ritual, you might be able to time yours, and then you could just like cast it, drop it. At least you'd get like a word. You'd get just like a couple words. Better than nothing.
Yeah.
It'd be
No,
funny
but-
if you're
but-
like waiting to time it and you're like, no.
But no, she since the conversation was brought up, that's like her job right now. You don't know how many times that she could do that though. So
Watching her. The second it looks
try
like
to-
rituals be happening, we're gonna
I'm
time
gonna
some
try
things.
to like interrupt her while she casts. Like, oh, would you? And I'll like pull out a flask. It's like it's gonna probably be a minute. You want a drink?
Oh, smart.
while she's casting,
Like just about to, and I'm like, oh, by the way, you know,
It's trying to buy like a minute or two so we can get a word. We want a couple words.
If this works, that's gonna be so funny.
I know. I just want like 3 words out of context. How funny would that be?
think of like how this could be done.
Where's Jeremy Crawford? Where's Perkins? Ask him how this works. Put this on Twitter.
Okay, so I'm gonna have her roll like a concentration, and I'm just gonna make the DC. I guess just a normal DC here. Okay, so it is exactly what she needed. So she rolled a 10, but so she's still gonna be able to concentrate and cast it. But you could do this every single time if you wanted to, or
Yeah.
Every
I'll try
10
to,
minutes,
they're
Azric's like, "You wanna
drunk."
drink?
I'll try to interject and like maybe like fumble
Do you
the
want-
Yeah.
flask and like, oh,
Do you want that
Yeah.
drink it or?
so she begins casting this spell, and then she's about to cast it, and then you're like, are you sure? And then she kind of snaps out of it, and she's just like, no, I'm busy. And there's probably like a 5-second time period until she starts again. So if Taj is watching this, there's like 5 seconds of conversation that that you can
Is
hear.
that worth it?
Yes.
5 seconds. This is a level 4 spell. Like,
Todd's just
is
here.
this worth it?
And,
I think it's funny, so I think it's worth it.
I mean, it's this or Fireball. You get to choose. Like,
I don't think we'll need fire. This seems to be working, knock on wood. But I just think it's amazing.
It'd be really funny if it was just casual conversation and all Todd's here is like, weather's really nice.
I've never thought about using spell moves before. It's like spell warfare. It's like Cold War shit. It's so funny.
At this point, you would assume the conversation has gone on for at least a little bit, right?
so I'm not getting. I just want to make sure I'm not getting greetings. Like, so we're in this room together, and then it cuts, and I'm
You
just
won't
like,
you won't get a greeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're beyond pleasantries at this point, I would say.
Yeah.
Already boning.
So it's
No, wait, what?
It's up to you.
I don't know if Hayden's
as a
charisma
group-
is that high.
Yes, I'll do
The
it.
negotiations were short. Got him. Got it in there. Let's go.
For my own benefit, how many subtle spells can you do?
2.
Okay, so this is the one. Okay.
This would be the one and only. That's why I'm wondering, are we doing it or not? Like not for the memes, like for real.
Up to you.
I'm always
Depends
doing
on-
the memes, but also for real. I don't know how to answer that question. It's totally your call, Mac. Don't let us pressure you. It's your call. But I do feel
feels
like
so
this is moving in a direction where we may not need fireball. Again, knock on wood, fingers crossed.
Well, it's also my only subtle. So like, if we need greater invis, like, or just gonna be like greater invisibility.
Peace out,
Honestly,
bitches.
Away.
that seems fine at this point. Like
All right,
they're
all
already
right.
onto us, you know.
I'm gonna ask Taj. Does Taj do it or no?
I'm not gonna. Actually, fuck it. Let's do it.
All right. I am going to.
Yes!
I'm going to defer to Hayden. Hayden, what are 20 words that Taj is going to hear?
Well, wait,
of
have
what
you and
you're
him already
telling.
had your secret conversation in DMs?
Listen,
No.
you don't worry about my DMs.
Yeah, it has to be a real conversation. So you guys chat, and then you roll a dice and give us 5 words at random.
No, 20 words. Why are you?
Sorry, 20,
dipping
20,
us
sorry.
down to
Yeah.
5.
I want real words. I don't want made up words.
I'm
20
burning a spell. I want 20 fucking words.
20 words in 5 seconds. That's fast talking.
Well, that's the same
I'm
amount
trying
as
to
you would
make it
do.
less, you guys.
Well, that's
Remember
pretty
we were
similar.
super
serious D&D stream, and
Can I
now
ask a question? Why does VS not want to give us 20 words? Can we just
I'm fine. I'm
chat,
fine with
right?
it. I'm messing with Mac.
Yeah,
Oh.
I said
high.
I said 20 because I believe that's what you would be able to send if you were using like sending, which typically a spell is, you know, a turn around in 6 seconds. Blah 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 blah. That's kind
Everybody
of
knows that Detect Magic has a couple buffer seconds at the beginning where you're just getting a little bit of like, oh, what's going on? Like everybody knows that.
Can I also put it like, I don't know, behind the woman so she doesn't know or doesn't like think to see it, or I don't know. Like, can I like strategically place the clairvoyance in a way that
Like just out of her peripheral.
she might
in the room.
overlook it?
So you have this basically this window because Azric fumbled or like messed up her like casting for Detect Magic. So when it comes back up, she's just, it's not like she looks around. I'm using that as like a narrative device, but she's just going to be able to detect things around her. It's like an aura basically. So
Okay. So she's still casting it. Like Azric didn't distract her long enough to like not cast it.
yeah, he distracted her, and as she was getting ready to finish, and he's just like, "Hey, you want a drink?" And she's like, "What? No, dude. What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh shit, I gotta cast this." Like that's kind of what you're getting,
But
basically.
he bought her 20 words. So
Yes.
I'm trying to think of 20 words.
well, it would be 20 words of a conversation, not just random
Well, yeah,
words.
but I have to like, okay. it's
Look,
hard to
you-
like
Viz,
segment a
you and
conversation
Max
I've not had
talk,
yet.
and we'll entertain the chat.
Well, yeah.
So, Cooter,
How about-
what do you think is going on in there?
How about you two have the conversation, and then like when you feel like you want to share, you be like, okay, now, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
you
way
all,
it's-
Meanwhile,
like I was going to do,
Entertain.
you all have the conversation outside of the captain's quarters, so VS and I can type to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
okay.
so,
And
Yeah,
then
what do you
now with
think
all
they're
this new
doing
information, we'll do
there?
it.
Yeah, this is a really nice ship. They really are keeping it up there. Sorry
well,
about
it
all the
was a
broken
nice
bits
ship.
and pieces. It
Yeah,
was.
I think I
was,
did that.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
You two
I mean-
are numbskulls, just so you know.
But I did nothing. I just tried to
Oh,
keep the
Maya?
ship together.
I just
I
did what
did-
the captain told me to do.
Oh, by the way, our crew is not happy with us, just so you know.
Oh, well, that's not surprising to me in the
why?
least.
Well, it's very
They think that
surprising to me.
Azric is not up to snuff. No,
What does that mean, up to snuff?
that he is not doing a good job.
Oh,
They're
well, that's just
displeased
not
with his
true.
leadership.
Look at him over there being all captainly and flirting with that.
He's
Cleric
literally
lady.
just standing there, just not.
Yeah,
he's
he
not
looks
doing,
like a captain. He's got like a hat
No,
and oh, he doesn't
he's-
really have a hat. Well, he has a
Always
sword.
standing there.
Well, he doesn't really have that.
No,
Yeah, I guess I see what you mean. But he looks cool.
does he?
I mean, I thought so.
I'm just saying.
He's pretty handsome. Does that not count?
To
But I
be a
guess if the
you think
captain
you need
is
to
the
be
most
handsome, yeah?
handsome, then it would be maybe Hayden. Or you, Tosh.
Well,
You
I
would
was
never
captain
be
of the ship,
captain. Because Azric's your best friend, right?
maybe.
Maybe. Oh. I wish I had a best friend like you and Azric.
You do not have any friends back home?
No. No, not really.
Not.
Oh, well. People don't really talk to me too much because I'm usually so busy with my studying. And,
But you have your nose in books. Why not?
well, it's not really by choice. I mean, I'm supposed to be studying so that I could become one of the arch druids.
And why are you here and not studying?
Oh, well, I didn't really want to be an arch druid.
Why not?
Because it's really boring and you don't get to go on adventures.
So you want to have your studies be real world instead of in books?
Yeah, I do like learning, but I just didn't want to just be under the sea the whole time. I wanted to come up here and meet people like you.
And where is everybody else that you are familiar with? They don't want to come with you?
Oh, they don't like it up here. They don't really like surface dwellers.
Is it because we breathe air, or do you guys breathe water? How does it work?
Well, we breathe air and water.
That's weird.
It's just magic.
You can do that too.
No, I mean, we don't cast our people have been alive so long, the elves that went under the sea, that the magic that they used to breathe underwater just became sort of inherent. I don't know the word. And it's just part of the magic that we have naturally. So I'm not technically breathing water, I guess. I'm magically breathing water, but I can do it at all times, even when I'm sleeping.
Can I do that? That sounds
No.
really handy.
I don't think you can do that.
Twitter is pretty old. She's been around for a long time.
Right, but it's a sea elf thing. I don't really know how. I mean, it's so. I think it might be older than Cooter.
What was the name of your people again? I wonder
The
if I've come
translation
across
is
them
sea
in my research.
elves. That's how it translates. But my people are the loading. The
Hold, please.
the Antheres. But again, you would know us as the sea elves.
So, but how that's a question for you, I guess, Bun, is how much do we know about you? About like
you
those
know
people?
that sea elves exist under the sea because when people go to their territory, they come out with their like spears and druid powers and are like, hey, you're not allowed over here.
Yeah, but is it like stories like when the fishermen see mermaids?
No,
you know what
it's
I'm
more
saying?
real than that. I mean,
Okay.
we are in D&D, so I like mermaids might be real, but yeah, it's more real than that.
I mean, contextually speaking. Okay.
Yeah. It's
we-
like people know my people exist. It's just because my people don't like to talk to surface dwellers, not many people have met a sea elf. It's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of rumors because people haven't met them, so they'll make stuff up. Like one time I heard that we all have tentacles. That's crazy. Only the ones that can turn into octopuses have tentacles.
like
But
you.
can't you do that too? So
You did
Yeah, I can
that.
turn into an octopus and have tentacles, yeah. But not everybody has not everybody. I mean, most of us are druids, but not everybody turns into animals.
To be fair, most surface dwellers are crap.
Well,
Just
I've liked
as
every
people.
surface dweller I've met for the most part. Even some of the really mean and stupid ones are interesting.
Interesting, yes. Kind and generous, not so
Well,
much, unfortunately.
You all like to have so much fun. You have singing. It's kind of hard to sing underwater, but you have singing and you drink really weird things that make you sick, but it's kind of funny when you're not the one that's sick. And you have such interesting foods. Well, because we don't usually cook our food too much because underwater, I mean, we have areas that are underwater, but it's so damp. So usually we just eat things raw. And then, so you have so much more interesting foods. And then, oh, it's so much easier to read books above water. I mean, we have books, we can read them. It's just,
I prefer your
have to
food.
prepare.
I would love to try it. Would you cook some for us sometime?
we don't cook. I couldn't really cook it.
Could
'cause
you
we don't.
prepare some for us sometime?
Yeah, I mean, I could catch you a fish and you could take a bite out of it. I don't think
Oh, well, I
literally
can
what
just
you
do that
You don't
myself.
prepare
I
it
do
in
that
any
all the
other way.
time.
Sometimes we wrap it in seaweed.
So you're making
That sounds
sushi?
lovely.
I don't know what that is.
Of course you don't.
But yeah, sometimes it's just fish, raw fish wrapped in seaweed, and we have like other sea vegetables, and then we have vegetables that can grow in air. So real vegetables, but they're not the ones you have here. They've been magicked to grow in caves under the ocean. Have you ever had Brussels sprouts? I think that's supposed to taste similar.
To your
I haven't had
vegetable?
them. They're just like, we just have a lot of weird vegetables, yeah. Vegetables and fish and octopus and squid and
Sea cucumbers. Do you have those?
Yeah, sea cucumbers. Yeah, definitely those.
Aren't they great?
Yeah, they're really good. Not my favorite, if I'm being honest.
I think you are, how you say, distracting us from what we were talking about.
Oh, sorry, what were we talking about?
Why you didn't want to be a druid thingy, whatever it was.
Oh, because I just didn't think it'd be very fun, and I wanted to come above the sea and go on adventures. Because I read about that in a lot of storybooks. You know, I'm supposed to be studying, but that means I also have access to a lot of storybooks that
You
the surface
couldn't
dwellers lost.
You couldn't just do something different. You had to be what you had to be.
No, I'm supposed to take over my mother's place. So,
Why?
well, she died.
But why do you have to do it? Why can't somebody else do it?
Because I have the druid magic, you know, like I'm good at
If
it.
all your people are druids, then
Yeah,
why
but
can't
not
somebody else do it?
Most people only know like 1 or 2 spells.
I'm
They're
trying
kind of
to
like baby druids.
I'm trying to count words and it's hard.
Do you want us to shut up?
No, keep going.
Oh, okay.
I'm just explaining
We're
why.
distracting because we're just trying to buy you time.
Yeah, I'm
He's got
trying to
it.
explain why it's taking so long.
I'm just trying to learn about Emmy, who's talking about fucking vegetables. And I'm like,
Well, I
bitch,
don't know. I
what?
mean, what did your parents want you to do when you were younger?
I did not know my parents.
I'm sorry.
No,
Well,
not
I
asking
just-
me.
usually if you have the druid magic, it's stronger sometimes in certain families. And if you have it, you're supposed to train to be a druid. And if you're really good at fighting, then you'll be one of the protector druids. And if you're really good at learning spells, like I am, then you would become an archdruid so that you can be part of the council and protect our people and also keep anyone else, creature, man, or otherwise from going towards the abyss.
Do they not want to go by the abyss?
It's part of our job of our people to keep other people from going towards the abyss. So you know how
why? What is over there that you need to protect so much?
Oh, I don't know.
You've never been over there? You don't know what you're protecting?
Well, it's the same reason the people on the surface patrol the waters and they don't let people go over the waters. My people have made the same deal, but under the waters. We keep anything from going.
Yeah, because those people are shady. So what I'm trying to figure out is what shady thing do you people know?
I don't think my people are shady. Well, I don't know. I didn't become an archdruid, so they didn't tell me everything yet because I left.
I think that maybe we should go. There might be something worth
to my people or to the abyss?
The abyss? No.
Oh no, we cannot go to the abyss. That is a very bad idea. That is where the whole world almost got destroyed.
Is who?
Okay. I think we're ready
because I don't know I don't even know what else to say about that. I'm like, oh god.
So the words that Taj hears are, I get that you're mad. This whole thing has been a mess. I'm doing what I can to figure.
Doing what I can to what?
Figure it out.
Oh.
Trying to figure out the context of that.
That was so good. This is my new favorite episode. Huh. And only Taj knows that right now. Anyways.
Continue.
I imagine the timing was that Taj saw that What's-Her-Face was done with one spell and about to cast another, and she just kind of like put her hand on Emmy's mouth like, shut up.
Well, if Adric's able to like interrupt her again before she throws it off, is that possible? Before she gets it off, can he do it again?
I think that was it. Unless
The next time, maybe.
You don't have another slot?
I have one more, but not subtle. So I would be like, clairvoyance! Like some Harry Potter shit, you know? So stupid.
I could send Bucket in there. But I think she'd see him before he got there, right? Yeah. I think that's it. I don't have anything else.
I sleep. I can put her to sleep.
I could dispel her magic.
Hit points.
So, should one want to somehow potentially get to the abyss, how would one hypothetically manage such a feat?
Well, you'd have to like get a boat and go to it, or go underwater and go to it. But both of those are patrolled, so you can't do those things. Again, we're talking about what almost destroyed the world.
Well, yes, I'm well aware
right?
of that. Hey, you do realize that it destroyed my entire lineage.
Right. But why would you want to go there?
To
I
figure
need
out
to
why.
know what happened.
Well, like, you know the pinnacle depths, right? Like where we are. Well, you know that used to be land, like an entire mountain range? And
What
now
I'm
it's
trying
just
to say
underwater?
is what happened there, if it is worth protecting, which means there are secrets, no? Why are they protecting it? Why?
Because they don't want anyone to do it again?
How
We
would
don't
people do
know.
it again? What is that? Is the
I
point?
don't know. I just know we're not supposed to go there. I've been told my whole life that no one's supposed to go there, and it's our job to keep people from going there. And if somebody tries to go there, it's probably because they're a bad person and they're going to do a bad
I
thing.
think that's just what the government wants you to think. I mean,
I mean, what are you talking about?
A quick question for my crew. In your
if you-
opinion,
Well, if you're going to have that conversation, what I think you're going to have to go out and talk to them.
okay.
That has
we
to be
have
in character.
DMs.
That's something that has to be in character, unless you're just going to make a choice. So I'm not going to let
fair
you
enough,
metagame that
fair
one.
enough. That's fine.
So if
We
Hayden
trust
needs
you,
to
just
needs
make
to
a
step
choice.
out, then he can.
All right. Let me type what I was going to type to you, Max.
Mm-hmm.
So how's everyone doing today?
I would talk to the lady, but then that would distract Max from DMing BS. So I can't.
I know. I'm like, how do I? Cooter, you know more than anyone that we shouldn't be going to the abyss because something truly awful happened there. So why would you, of all people, want to go there?
It's not about that we shouldn't go there. The thing had already happened. So what?
Hey, but there's a reason they're protecting it. They must think it could happen
Exactly.
again.
That's what I need to find out.
Well, I mean, we could probably
It's the
learn more
one
from
thing
my
I have left.
family if we wanted to ask them, but I doubt they'd tell us. And they're not going to let you go there. And honestly, trying to get there would be very dangerous because in that part of the ocean, there are things, let's just say, okay, well, have you ever heard?
But they aren't the only
Have you
people
ever heard of
there. The
What, my
hunters are
people?
there.
They're above the
Yes.
water, and then my people are below the water. But there's, look, I don't think we should talk about this right now. I'm feeling very panicked, and I can't breathe. Oh God, I don't think I can breathe.
Cooter holds out the bucket. Breathe into this.
Look, we've just got bigger things to worry about. Like, Cooter, I don't even think they, wait, do I know that they don't want Azric to be?
Yeah, I told you guys.
Okay, they don't even want Azric to be captain. That's right, you just told us. They don't even want Azric to be captain. I don't even think we could make it to see my people at this rate.
I mean, we can have somebody else step up to be captain or just talk to them and see what they think, no?
Oh, what do we do?
Does it
Are we
have to
gonna
be that
like?
deep?
Isn't that a mutiny? Isn't that bad? Do we have to kill him?
It might not be that bad yet. If we just talk to them. Why is it that everybody is so bad with communication, no? If you just
It
talk,
seems like
then it
everyone
doesn't
always
get
just
escalated.
reaches for their hip, doesn't it?
Right?
I
What do
agree.
you propose we do, Taj?
I think that we should talk to our crew. They are upset that we weren't doing pirate things, and then the moment we do pirate things, they're upset again. So
I
What
think
do-
they're
what do
upset
they
at the
want?
way the pirate things were done, not necessarily whether we were doing them or not.
well, they need
It
to
was a
speak
little
up
bit of a
about it.
kerfuffled situation, I will admit that much. I think maybe Azric's been a little bit more distracted of late. So
That's
maybe he had a
true.
one-track mind on this one, who knows?
He has been through a lot, if we're being honest.
It
I mean,
probably
haven't we
wouldn't be
all?
the
That's
worst
why
thing
we
for
are
him to
here.
take a break.
So you see the door swing open again, and Hayden comes marching out of the captain's quarters, and you can see that Captain Vale is with her arms crossed, just waiting at this point.
So Hayden walks up to you all and has you gather around and like, we can get out of here alive and with her ship, her terms that we give her 2 of our crew to take into custody.
Ooh.
Maybe we give them Dumb and Dumber? I don't know.
I was adamant about how that's not going to work. She initially wanted more, but I was able to talk her down to just 2.
We can't do that. We can't give her anyone.
About
Why not?
saving
There might be
face.
somebody who has a secret diary. They are spilling the beans. Do we know who that is?
I don't know.
I have no idea whose diary that is.
Just give them Gear and Barry. They're fuck all useless.
I
No, but it's
volunteer.
not
I
their
don't know
fault.
anything anyway. I can't
Actually-
let someone else take
no,
the
no, no.
fall.
No, Claire,
We're not
actually,
giving-
why don't you just give her
We're
me?
not handing you
Because
over.
no, just give her me because then after like 24 hours, I'm just gonna turn into a little bug and escape.
No, I'm not giving
It'd
away
be
an
really
arm.
easy.
I mean, it. As
can
much
get
as
rid
I
of
would like for you
2.
to be gone, it's not like that.
Well,
Oh,
I
dying.
don't think we could just give them. I mean, maybe we can ask the crew if anyone wants to volunteer.
The fact of the
No, I
matter is,
volunteer. I can't let any of them volunteer. They volunteer, I
But you
volunteer.
can't escape.
Azric.
It doesn't make any sense.
listen, the fact of the matter is, if we want to get out of here and all walk away free, it's going to cost 2 of ours.
Azric, look at me.
Yes,
There
darling.
are people that do not believe that you are capable of being captain, so we should not ask them who wants to go. You should tell them. And they go. Be a man.
Yeah, pick the people that are trying to mutiny you, Azric.
I,
I think that's the first he's heard of it, by the way.
who's the one who's very vocal about me being captain? Not wanting me to be captain. Precise.
Captain, you're asking me to tell you who is vocal against you?
Yes, and I will not repeat myself. I'm tired of everyone thinking I'm a bloody idiot and useless. If I have to resort to violence or giving up people, then I will, for the greater good of the rest of the crew.
Captain, you're asking me to betray the trust of the crew.
And are you volunteering?
I think. What if? Let us just say, what if your crew is a little useless? Maybe not all there and not very helpful. Maybe we get rid of them first.
Who was it again whose jobs was to supply our ship before we left?
I assigned Gear and Barry.
And aside from this one major fuck up, have they been useful at all?
They did start the whole Bell debacle.
Oh,
But
fuck it.
they are...
And yes, we
They
should
are-
get rid of them immediately if they were the Bell people.
All right, once again, tired of everyone over talking me. I am the fucking captain, all right? And I already said Gear and Barry from the get go. Unless everyone just absolutely fucking forgot about that. I'm giving up Gear and Barry. I don't hear another fucking word about it. Especially you, Emmy.
Me looks like she's gonna cry right now. She's not saying a word.
Aye. You heard the captain.
I have dreamy eyes, and I like brush the hair out of his forehead, like, oh.
Can I get like a sense
You're
of
all worked
how
up.
intimidating?
There's my man.
I want to know how intimidating you're being right now. Like if you were to, like, I don't know, like roll
Yeah.
a die.
He hasn't rolled any dice yet. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Tell him to roll dice. It might be low. God, why are you going to get this whole fucking episode?
All right, I have to change
You
my
can have-
speech.
There's gonna be
You can have-
tea in
if this
tonight's
is
Out of
bad.
You
Combat.
can have my inspiration.
It'd be so funny.
You know.
God damn it. This is the weirdest episode ever.
Oh, what?
My intimidation is 16.
Hey, that's
mean-
plenty intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kurzak looks like very like crestfallen at the moment. And he says, I can tell them if you prefer.
No, I'll talk to Gillenberry. I'll give you that dignity since you're feeling so sad about it.
Very well, Captain.
I will add that I'm not understanding these feelings. First and foremost, we each pull our own weight as a crew. And if some crew is doing less or not doing their jobs, then that brings the whole ship down. So they dug this hole themselves.
I
Yes,
will say it's
close.
very big of you, Captain.
I want to remind everyone, if it wasn't for their fuck-up, we wouldn't have to alter course, which put us in course of this situation. If we were fully stocked, we would have been fine.
Agreement.
Agreed.
So it was their fuck up that got us here. Partially. It's their fuck up that's going to save our necks.
I suppose that makes it even then.
Been in one situation with these people. This is number 2. Giving them up, survive you. You and your brother get to live another day.
Yes, Captain.
All right, now that's settled. What's the next step, Hayden?
Well, I will inform her that we will be sending over 2 of ours. She will take them into custody, and then I assume they'll want us to fuck off their ship. They don't give a rat's ass how we get home, so we have to figure that out on our own.
Well,
I'll start looking for a whale.
Hayden will walk back to her and tell her what we're doing, and yeah.
All right, you can walk back. Who's gonna go get Garen Barry? Or did you
Got
want
it.
Kurzak to do
Captain, my captain.
I guess I told Kurzak I would do it, so, or at least talk to them. So Kurzak and I will go back.
that? He gets into the dinghy and starts rowing over to your ship. And you can see everyone is just like doing their best. Same on this ship, on the Vigilant as yours. Unfortunately, they're trying to clean up as much as they can before they can even start repairs. Like, they've got like cracked cannons, they've got shit everywhere, splinters from the hull. They're trying to do the best they can of getting things in order so they can begin to assess damage and take care of the ship.
Can I offer to work with their like medical team on trying to resolve injured on both sides, get everyone kind of. I'm sure there's a lot of carnage going on.
Oh yeah,
Tudor
you
just
can.
wants a little bit of goodwill to be sprinkled out there.
Yeah, you can most definitely help, like in their triage. If you go below, yeah, you're more than welcome to kind of help and treat the wounded. You're kept under close watch, but they're happy for the help.
A reminder, we don't explain to our crew how we got ourselves out of this situation. They don't need to know. All they need to know is we're free to go.
They're going to know that people are missing, no?
Depends on how our captain handles it, sure.
So you get to the unfortunate with Kurzak, and he starts to climb up with you as you reach the deck. And everyone sort of, as soon as Azric's back on the deck, everyone sort of just stops working and just kind of looks at him, like waiting expectantly.
All right, crew. We've been through some hard, difficult combat, and it's been a tough day. But we have come to agreement that we are both going to go our separate ways. And no one else has to die today. Now I'm gonna roll a deception. Oh, fantastic. 25.
Mm-hmm.
Gear, Barry, I need you to accompany me, Kurzak, back to the enemy ship for repairs. You will assist them.
And you can see they're like swabbing the deck and like getting splinters and stuff taken care of, and like, you know, one of them's lifting like a cannonball out of the deck, trying to get it up out of there because it's kind of lodged in. And they both look and said, "Hi, Captain, over there."
Yes. On the Vigilant.
Oh, all right. And then they both kind of just like hop to it, and they look like excited that they had like they're getting a special assignments and they get to go on a field trip, and like wow, the captain like picked me out of everybody to go help him. And they look happy, and then Kurzak is just like holding it together barely. And they sort of climb down and get to the boat, and and you hear Barry sort of yell up, "Ready to leave when you are, sir!"
All right, come along. Kurzak, you don't have to come if you don't want to. You can stay on the ship.
Is that an order, Captain?
I'm giving you an option.
I'd like to at least be there when they're gone.
All right, come along. And I'll have them row us back.
Yeah, they start rowing back, and you make it back over to the Vigilant, and they start climbing up. And Gear gets to the deck. It's like, shoot! I forgot my tools. Do we need to go back?
No. They have plenty of tools over there. We need our tools for our ship repairs.
Right. All right. What's first?
And I look for Captain Vale. I'm like, these are the two.
And she looks over to the dwarf, says, "Lieutenant Commander, take the 2 men into custody immediately." And he slaps on a pair of manacles. Both of them. They look very ornate. Something is I don't know, something seems like these are an important piece of equipment, or like someone took a lot of care to make these specific manacles. They're like gold, like embossed, like filigree, like it's wild.
I'll detect magic.
Oh yeah.
Probably magic suppression cuffs or something.
So are you doing this subtly, by the way?
It's I don't know. It's my warlock invocations. How does that work? I imagine it's a little different because it's just my eyes glow.
Let's see what it says.
Do you roll a sleight of hand to see if anyone notices your eyes glow?
I guess I just detect magic at will without expending a spell slot. That's all it says.
Interesting. I'll just say it just happens for now, and then I'll do some research later to see like if it's still like doing a full like thing. But
okay.
I imagine he probably doesn't have to go like, "I call upon my dark patron to see what is in front of me," or something like that.
Abracadabra.
Detect foul magics. Are these eyes? I was like Homelander.
you do know this is some sort of magic aura about it, that it is from the school of illusion.
So you're saying they're fake?
And they look over to you, and as the manacles come out, they're like, Captain, what's going on here, Captain? No, I'm just. And then the manacles go on their hands, and they start trying to talk and to plead with you, and nothing comes out.
Oh.
And they're moving their mouth, and they just can't speak.
These cuffs force you to wait for a lawyer.
I suppose it's good. No.
Yeah, I mean,
I would like for all of you to make either a history or an arcana check.
Arcana of 16.
9.
I'll roll one for fun.
Arcana
I
or
don't know.
history?
Both mine are the same, so 18.
Which one are you choosing? Because it'll determine what information you get.
Maybe I'll do history because other people are probably more adept at
Well, I was
Arcana
gonna
anyway.
do. I got a 19, and I was gonna do history. If you want to do Arcana,
Well, I mean, just, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Hayden, what was
Arcana.
Hayden's?
Oh, Hayden has no idea.
Okay. So I'll give you one of each.
Hayden's like, damn, those cuffs be pretty.
So for Arcana,
I wonder how
you
much
look at
they're
these.
worth.
You look at these cuffs and you sort of realize what's happening, and that if Gear and Barry were spellcasters of some sort, at this stage, they can't speak, they can't move their hands to be able to do any sort of somatic component. They are basically kept from casting any sort of spell if they had the ability to. Oh, so no verbal component, no somatic component. And then Emmy, you put that together and know that allegedly the Conservancy is able to suppress magic users when they're taken in their custody.
Oh, so I could have still escaped, but no one else probably. Interesting. I'll make a mental note of that for later. Just in case.
Yeah, because they defend arcane magic, which
As druids or not. Yeah.
so, and they just like look at you and they just like can't talk. And little Barry has tears streaming down his face. It is like
He
trying
also
to like
has tears streaming down her face for what
trying
it's
to
worth.
plead, and then Gear looks upset and he's like yelling and he's probably cursing you, but he can't say anything.
You two have yourself to blame. Know that the crew goes on because of your sacrifice.
And they are whisked away below the deck.
Yeah, that was brutal. Like we're watching Black Sails all over again.
And you see the captain says, well, I suppose that this concludes our parley. So you are more than welcome to return to what's left of your ship. We shall part ways. Know that next time that I see your ship, I will sink it. And I will have no reservations about it. Consider yourselves lucky this time.
Hazard kind of bites his tongue and says, understood.
Now, please get the fuck off of my ship.
After you, Master Hayden.
All right. I'll climb down on the dinghy, or I can swim. Doesn't matter.
You just take a dip. You're like, I need to swim this one out, guys.
He just goes, "Aye, aye, Captain," and takes a dive.
I mean, Emmy actually is going to do that, but that's because I need to go look for a whale.
So you hear Captain Vale is yelling off some orders to set a course. You've noticed on their ship, their helm is still intact, so they can at least steer and then try and get some working sails to pick a direction and go. So as you sort of depart the Vigilant, they're doing what they can to sort of limp somewhere to begin repairing. For them, it's probably going to be, they're going to try to go to a nearest port, more than likely, since they're in a little better shape than you all. For the unfortunate, I mean,
living up to its name.
At this point, if y'all even look at a rock, it's probably gonna sink you. So you have a little bit more urgency here. And the rowback is pretty somber. Kurzak, Whisper aren't saying much. Up to you all if you want to have a conversation on the way back.
Emmy's being quiet. Like I said, though, I think she's going to go swimming and see if she hears any signs of a whale in the general area.
Kuda just sighs.
Well,
She's tired.
We live for another day. I'm sure there's going to be repercussions when we get back. I'm no stranger. My actions have probably caused a lot of misfortune and strife amongst the crew. I mean, I've seen this countless of times, so I know what to expect.
Well, I have your back. We'll get back to the ship, get to business of repairs. Try to do what we can.
Definitely the first order of business is to make sure we can reach land safely.
Agreed. So, every helping hand to repair the ship is much needed.
I'll help repair the hands that repair the ship.
Very good.
All right. As you make it aboard the Unfortunate, for the first time this campaign, Azric, I need you to roll either an intimidation or a persuasion check for me. I'll let you choose.
I'm gonna go intimidation. 'Cause I'm tired of people thinking I'm weak.
Dark Azric timeline.
This is my
You
canon
reached your
event.
villain era.
Love it.
Intimidation is a 19.
All right. And then we will subtract 8 from that, which is an 11. The crew's morale does not drop any further. Through several of the events that occurred, based on what's happened the past day or two, the crew's morale is at a -8 currently. There were a few D4 rolls, as per the rules, that heavily swung your morale from that. The near destruction of the ship, the rationing orders, and then having to sacrifice crew. But with that being said, you do not have a violent mutiny on your hands as you enter back to the ship. You weren't quite at that level yet, so how that works is if you'd rolled a 9, between a 9 and a 1 total, your morale would have went lower. If your total check was a 0 or lower, that's when a violent mutiny happens. Where they physically try to attack you and take over your ship, which is not going to happen. However, as Kurzak discussed, there's probably going to be a conversation moving forward.
When we board, Hayden's gonna do his best to be in like work mode and try to, shouting like a little bit of like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Busy work?
Motivation.
Oh.
Towards the crew, something like, consider this your lucky day. We went toe to toe against hunters and we live. Now's the time to make repairs. We'll be working to get this ship in some sort of serviceable shape. Keep at it. Like, we all have jobs to do. Let's do them, sort of thing. Just in that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And everyone, like, they don't seem inspired by your rousing, but they're just, everyone sort of has the common goal of, let's get to the nearest strip of land and figure this out, kind of thing, and not sink. Is essentially everyone's mood at the moment. As mentioned before, on the map, you are kind of in the middle. Your best bet is to maybe do what repairs you can, try and hit an island, get some supplies, get some repairs done.
Isn't this what led us to the atoll in the first place?
What's that?
Isn't this what led us to the atoll in the first place?
Sort of, yeah. Would you say that there's enough stockpiled supplies on the ship to at least fix our helm so we can steer our drift a little bit?
Yeah. So that's gonna rely on your good friend Kurzak, since he is the bosun. So he's basically in charge of doing the repair. And he basically makes a strength check with his carpenter's tools. And it can gain a certain amount of hit points per day.
Okay.
Minimum of 1 hit point, essentially. So it's a D6 plus the crew's quality score. So he can spend a day and get 1 hit point back to your helm, and try to get you somewhere, basically.
Oh boy.
And then spend some time, like another day, to get you maybe some sails that can get you in the right direction. But there's not gonna be much you can do out at sea. So it's, if you want to spend.
What if I found a whale?
I was gonna say, I'm starting to like the idea of a tugboat whale.
Yeah. How much rope do we all have between us? That's what I'm asking. That's what I need to know.
I think I took a Dungeoneer's kit, so.
Hey, I think it would work.
Well,
50 feet of rope is not enough to have a whale tow your entire ship.
But
If we all combine our ropes, that's at least 200 feet.
With all our ropes combined.
I would say we have a lot of rigging that's not being used now because we don't have a mast.
You mean the ones that are blowing all the shit?
Yeah, the ones
I
that
have
are
been
just
looking for a reason to
hanging
take up
there.
knitting. Wait, don't I have mend? Can't I just spend
4 days mending the rigging.
You can mend one crack in one board.
That was gonna take a while.
I think I actually don't have it anymore at the moment. Never mind. I had it and then realized how useless it was and they got rid of it.
What? Okay, so answer me this, Emmy. What resources are you going to be using to have a whale come and agree to tug your ship? And you're lucky you're not a yacht, because we all know how whales feel about yachts currently. So.
Yeah, it's true. So first, it depends if I have to do this right now or if I can rest, because I have better spells for this. Okay. So first off, I just want to point out that I have Dominate Beast.
That doesn't sound friendly.
If they're not willing to do it.
Okay.
But I can also I could just conjure like water elementals. I doubt I could conjure a whale, maybe a small one.
Well, your conjure elementals is not going to last long enough to pull you anywhere significantly.
Okay. I also have Gust, but I mostly was planning to use my ability that is called I am a druid. What is it called?
I love that one.
It lets me be friend of the sea. You can communicate simple ideas to any beast with a swimming speed. It can understand your words, but you cannot understand it in return. But basically I can talk to them for free. But I also have speech.
Yes, I think that friend of the sea, I don't think, hey, whale, let me put this rope around you and you tug my boat to an island is a simple idea.
Okay.
But you have resources that you can use for this.
I have resources. So that was just the first.
Yeah.
So I also have Speak with Animals.
Yeah.
And I have Animal Friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Speak with Animals, and I have Animal Messenger, and I could speak to another animal to go and find a whale and send it our way. And I know that like friend of the animals, whatever feature isn't like super helpful, but I also just feel like maybe it'll just give me the edge I need when I'm also using my spell resources. You know what I mean? Like they can sense that I'm like a whale whisperer.
So here's what we'll do. You need a day to rest to reset your spells anyway, right? So with that day, Kurzak can spend the whole day to get 1 hit point back on the helm, so you're able to steer. You all can get some much needed rest now. It's been a long day. You're just going to kind of drift in the current place in the map here until Emmy can find a friend. And then I'll ask before we get to this, does anyone need to discuss anything before the next day occurs, or are we we lasso on a whale and trying to get to shore, and then we'll deal with our problems?
I saw a whale.
I have nothing to say. Just trying to take it all in.
Damn, that was harsh.
I find if we deal with this now or later, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen anyways. I'll leave it up to the officers.
Alrighty.
I don't mind whatever we want.
I mean, he's not going to bring it up.
All right. When we dock, then let's deal with this crisis before we get into another.
Alrighty. The next day, you all have the benefit of a full rest, so you can restore your hit points. You can choose new spells if you need to do any of that. Gain all your spell slots back. And then I will say, Emmy, if you choose Speak with Animals, Animal Friendship, if you cast those two, and you all can pull all of your rope together, then you can lasso a whale, and they can pull you just enough to get to this series of isles here.
Okay.
that sound good?
Yeah.
Love it.
Blessed day.
Blessed day. So they pull you out to the
They called a share ride service. It's called a blubber.
blooper.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are in the vicinity of the Crescent Isles now, and you are sort of pulled you're basically pulled as close as the whale can get, and after that, your animal friendship wears off, it decides it's hungry, and it is going to do its best to make sure you're safe in that area and then take off. You find an island with sort of not quite like a full lagoon, but sort of an arc to the shore to kind of protect you a bit from the waves in the ocean and stuff. And as soon as you get close enough, the crew kind of come to life, come to work. They all attach ropes and start pulling the ship, so it can basically be pulled aground to be ready for repairs. And as that's happening, it is the end of the so it takes 24 hours, so it's now the 11th of Sextus currently, so it's a new day. You all are now safe and sound. Repairs are to begin on this day, and you're finally out of danger. Azric, you feel sort of a sigh of relief that you're no longer a threat of of death or losing the ship. And it's a bright early morning, ready to get the ship back underway, repaired as quickly as possible. And you know, you do your morning routine, you get your captain's clothing on, you open the door, ready to greet the other officers and the crew, and you see 10 members of the crew waiting outside of your captain's quarters. And Kurzak says to you, "Apologies, Captain, but the crew has decided we're taking a vote on who goes forward. They have not... You are not barred from putting a name forward, or your own name forward. The crew believes that perhaps a chance for all of us to ensure that we are moving the right direction forward. I would assume that you would like your name on the ballot."
First, I would like to address the crew before we proceed with anything.
Of course. Is it all right?
But my name shall be on the ballot, but I will refrain from voting.
Captain, I don't mean to contradict you, but I think that every vote will count, and I do not think that is wise. But it is up to you however you cast your own vote.
Oh, we should see after I address the crew.
Very well. Shall I assemble them now?
Sure, yes. Might as well get out of the way.
And Kurzak starts gathering everyone up. The rest of you all, you've sort of... The crew has been a little off. They're sort of just doing just enough to get the ship in this place. And then, for those of you that are woken up early, there's been whisperings, people having private conversations, this sort of thing. But everyone is gathered up on the deck, and Azric, you have the floor.
I guess, should I roll first? how well I perform.
I think this can just be you going for it, because the actual voting and who people are going to vote for is going to take some rolling down the line anyway. So,
Gotcha. All right.
so go for it. Speak from the heart.
All right, crew. I know things have been tough. Things did not go the way that we wanted to. We have suffered serious damage to our ship, not once, but twice. We lost Gear and Barry, who has gone over to the other crew. And there are those, understandably, why you are all upset with me and my position as captain of the Unfortunate. Now, of course, we are pirates. We run things as a democracy. I'm not contesting your right to vote. I'm not contesting your right at all to decide how we move forward as a crew. But need I remind you that I have been a very nice captain, a pleasant captain. I haven't whipped or lashed any one of you. No one has lost a finger. The worst thing that happened is you had to swab the deck and eat less food. Now, remind you, it was up to Gear and Barry to make sure we had enough food and supplies for this voyage. But due to their error, we ended up in this situation. Kazak, need I remind you, your ship was already destroyed by the Conservancy. You were floated adrift and we met on an island, and we banded together to form a new crew as we sailed these seas, giving you a second chance at life. Or you could have been stranded stealing from farmers on Linares. Gato, Rimmer, Haga, Slug, Thar, you were all in the same situation. Now, Artie, Helman, Lucille, Jax, we found you along the way. And MacLeod, we saved you a life of death from the cove. Now you're free to do as you will. Now, as soon as we repair the ship and get where we need to be, and if I'm still your captain, whenever we get to the Pirate Cove, you're free to leave. You don't have to serve the ship or me. You're free to go if we ever make it to the Cove alive. Again, need I remind you, there are more ruthless, cunning, devious captains than I. Now, I understand my kindness may be seen as weakness. And maybe I will turn things around and be more stern, more disciplinary, more focused. I'll leave that all to you.
And there's a few, like, probably a pocket of like 5 people that like applaud you. Everyone starts to look around, and Kurzak is kind of hanging his head and takes a deep breath. I nominate Mr. Hayden for captaincy. And his brother Karzak says, I second. And then sort of everyone starts looking around, and then Whisper steps forward. I nominate Taj for captaincy. And she looks over, and Boulder, one of the crew from Blackbeak's ship, says, I second.
And I curtsy.
And I think that's a good place to end our episode for the evening.
No one wants to nominate Emmy or Cooter? What are we? Come on. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously
We're
not.
total.
Chowder might vote for you.
No. Don't nominate either of us. No one wants to
Good idea.
nominate Chowder.
So yeah, thanks everybody
Chowder
for
will
watching,
nominate Chowder.
hanging out with us
Chowder
tonight.
nominates Chowder.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching, hanging out with us. It seems that there's going to be an interesting next episode.
This was a wild episode.
boy.
The next one's going to be wilder. I feel like. Oh my god.
So, first things first is I'm going to put a poll in the chat, and you all decide who the MVP of the
Goodness.
episode was.
How do we even?
I'm listening to this speech like the man has some good points.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the poll up. Whoever you vote for, whoever gets the most votes, will get an inspiration to use next session, which I will say might be very important to sway votes. Because you all didn't see this during the break, and I was trying to be sneaky, so Bun couldn't see it. But next episode, I'm literally going to be writing names down and pulling them out.
Hey, that's the jar for the dog treats. That's not yours.
They have another one. I commandeered that one.
Sandwich and pizzas jar.
You have the names now.
Does
So yeah.
that mean we get to submit our votes in private?
Yes, you will. You as the players will be submitting your votes in
Yes.
private to me, and I will write down on these pieces of paper, which I will say you did have 24 crew, but now 2 of these are going to be gone because you now have 22 crew.
Well, we also
brilliant.
had too many crew, didn't we? We needed to get rid of some anyways.
You were just at the
like,
threshold. You had just enough.
Yeah.
So
fine.
yeah, you had enough to man the ship and extra to go over and fight if they needed to. So. But yeah, with that being said, you don't want to miss next week because we're going to have a full-on Survivor vote here.
Player versus
I
player
love
content.
So get your votes in on who is the
Jeez.
MVP today. And then we'll see who is going to win that. But with that being said, go check us out on YouTube. We've got some other interesting things that'll be out there, like our out of combat episode for this one, which will have some nice behind the scene dealings with I believe tonight is going to be Moobs and Mac and Nina are going to talk about what happened. So it'll be
Oh
interesting.
boy.
The tea will be spilled. I'm so
Yeah.
mad.
Text me later with the tea.
Oh, I will.
Hayden, you were voted the MVP. Take your inspiration.
Oh, he almost didn't get it. It was neck and neck. Wow.
I'll take
I
it
was watching that like, ooh, who's gonna get it?
today, but
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. We will be back next week. You don't want to miss it. So have a fantastic evening, everybody, and we will see you all
Bye,
next time.
everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, nerd.